Everybody else is gonna show up on Zoom.
Mhm. Good morning, ASG Riser.
Good morning, Judge. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Were we both thinking alike on Friday?
I think we are.
I think we are. Were you in Jekyll?
I was not. I did not.
They didn't
go
let
this
you
year.
go?
We are going to have kind of like an in-house training. So I
Oh.
decided to stay back and just get our credits for our in-house training.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's just not as much fun.
It's not as much fun. I know, right?
It really isn't. I went to Jekyll last year and had the best time. So
Right.
maybe next year I'll go.
It's not the prettiest at times. I think it's gritty sand wise, but still it's just the fact that you're, at the ocean, you're there, not quite far enough out to make it more beautiful, but it's still relaxing.
It is.
I think they all got back yesterday.
I think Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
Night. Mm-hmm.
I remember those days. Let's see. We only have, I see some paperwork. Hold on. For Orca for today, July 21st, I will call court to order, and let's see what I have here. It looks like for the first case, 19 CR 007521G, Joshua Donaldson. Looks like I have a no plea.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, Judge, that will be a plea.
Oh, come on up. I see someone standing in the
Good
courtroom.
morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I'm Shannon Cagle. I am the surety for this defendant. He is supposed to be here. I
I recognized you by the last name.
do not know where he is. We did speak with him day before yesterday. He should be present.
Okay, well, you've spoken to him. He may be parking and getting here.
And Judge,
so
I
we'll
think, sorry,
hold
Your
it.
Honor, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm gonna
Yes.
send the attorney for Mr. Donaldson just emailed me for the Zoom link. So I'm gonna send him that.
Oh, okay.
And I
So the
think they'll be,
attorney's getting on by Zoom.
And also, Your Honor, if I may, if his case does not, if he does not do a plea or whatever today, can I present a motion to have us relieved of the liability?
Certainly. Yes, certainly. Let's see, his attorney may have spoken to him and had a little more contact when he gets on. Oh, Will Moran is the attorney?
yes, Your Honor, and I just sent the Zoom link to him. He should
Okay,
be joining.
got you. Let's see what he says. And then the second case while we're waiting, 19 CR 007820G, April Garrett. Anybody know what we're doing on that one? April Garrett.
Yeah, Your Honor, it appears that she was she was represented by Miss Helen. But I believe Miss Helen filed a motion to withdraw. I believe Miss Garrett, the defendant, wanted to hire private counsel.
Mhm.
I don't think that order was signed yet, but there are no particularized motions filed for this case today.
Okay, so was that private counsel George White or that May have
That
been
was
down the
the-
road
I
somewhere.
believe that was the division.
Right,
Oh.
George
Public
White was one
defender.
of our attorneys.
Oh, George White was with you. Okay. So that's with the PDs. You want to maybe check, Essence to see if that order to withdraw is filed?
Not the order, just the motion.
Just the motion. Oh, it was just, okay.
It was filed on July 13th.
Oh, July 13th. Okay. I know, right? Oh, boy. I'm trying to be a little accommodating for a Friday. I was gonna see what this attorney was gonna tell me if he would get on. Look, one of the two. Although the attorney won't be exciting for you unless he has some information. I have had them show up at 10 o'clock. Oh, I thought court started at 10.
I believe he is connected.
Good. All right, there we go. Attorney Moran, were your ears burning? Good morning. You can unmute yourself. There you go. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Your Honor?
Good. We were talking about you just a little bit, but not much.
My Mr. Donaldson is, I've just emailed him the Zoom link, so he should be in shortly, I think.
Oh, Zoom link to, well, I guess if everything is already pre-signed, generally we like to take pleas in person.
Oh, I apologize for that. I mean, we could potentially come in today.
Nope, I'm not gonna hold you up on a Friday, make you do that.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. Thank you.
But I do see everything has been the new e-sign, our DocuSign software that we have now. We finally caught up with the rest of the world.
Very, very technologically advanced.
So it's working well, I see. And the signatures look good.
They do. They look like real signatures. If you'd like, I can get him on the phone and see if he's having any
Tell him the
difficulty.
judge said, hurry.
Okay, no
Because the
problem.
bonding company is here. She just handed me her motion, but I begged her to wait.
Well, I appreciate that. And I mean, I think it should be a moot point at this point, since we're submitting a plea today.
Right. And you've spoken to him and he's getting on. Okay.
Yeah. If you would, let me make a quick call and just
Okay.
make sure he got my email.
Okay. We'll
Thank you.
hold for a second.
And Judge, I'll take
She
some
goes,
blame
"Good
on
morning,
that.
Miss Helen. Your ear should have been burning too. He said, oh, Miss Helen.
Yes, Judge. It's actually really hard to get to G33 from the front of the building. It's really hard.
I understand.
I know, but the front.
No. Do you have another language, man?
I do.
Yeah, I have one. I just saw you filed something the other day. Do you know what this motion's about?
I just did a motion for discovery, Judge. We can go ahead and call the positions.
Okay, we'll do that while we're holding. On the second case, April Garrett.
Yes, Judge.
922.
I'm the attorney on that. I did make my entry. I did have a conversation with Ms. Garrett. I was under the impression that she wanted to hire her own private counsel. I had a secondary conversation after I filed that withdrawal, and Ms. Garrett would like to keep my services. So Judge, if you would just deny or withdraw my withdrawal, Judge, I do believe Ms. Garrett would like to keep my services.
Well, if we don't, certainly don't sign the order to withdraw, I don't know that I have the power to withdraw your motion.
I can do it on my own.
Probably
Judge.
just do a two-liner that, change her mind, I'm still in the case kind of thing.
And there's a second note for
Okay.
this case.
So
Judge,
hold on one second. So we're just gonna reset that? Ms. Garrett's case then?
yes, Judge.
Okay. And so I'm looking, Essence is turning around to me, so I don't say the wrong date. Is it September? I mean, Miss Younger, I'm sorry. September the 8th.
Yeah, if they want, you want another.
That's another motion, a show cause.
Actually, let's do for a show cause because the second point, I have a case number and I was hoping Ms. Younger could help me with this case number. Allegedly, this is another open case of Ms. Garrett and we just need some investigation into it so that if it is Ms. Garrett, I'm going to enter in my appearance to that case as well, Judge. And so
Okay,
I do believe it's a DUI, which means we're going to need a new offer from the state.
Okay, so we'll reset that to September the 8th. That show cause is at 1:30.
Understood, Judge.
We'll do that.
And Judge, I think that other case is currently in front of Judge Mather's courtroom.
I see it.
So we
Okay.
will need to, I guess, transfer that down to Orca.
Okay,
if
And Your
possible.
Honor, I can submit a transfer order for that case so that we can get it into Orca and then I can file my entry into that.
great. That'd be great. That'd be perfect. All right, the third case is Rodney Langford.
And Judge, it was scheduled today for motions. I just entered in my appearance. And so my request is just, or motion is for discovery, Judge, just any body worn cameras and any of that discovery material the state may have, Judge.
Yoink. He's here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come on. Mr. Langford, thank you for appearing in person all by yourself. You have the whole courtroom to yourself. So that case, I'll just at least call it 17 CR 015025G. All right, and we're resetting that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Status or show cause?
Judge, since we're waiting for videos, I'll say show cause, Judge.
Okay, all right.
And
We'll reset that to September the 8th at 1:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Got that one.
And Miss Helen, I just looked in the case notes. It appears there's no body cam for that case. I can double check, but we should be able to resolve that one short of a trial.
Understood, Judge.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, Mr. Langford, just keep in touch with Miss Helen. She is going to handle everything.
And Your Honor, I believe that was both of my positions.
Okay, that's it. And then I have one last one, DeAnthony Whiteside.
Looks like their attorney filed an emergency leave.
Oh, emergency leave, okay. All right, and we're resetting that to when? Or how long is the leave? I know some,
This July 11th through the 25th, but.
oh, okay. I know sometimes when they do with the emergency, I don't know if it's a short term or long term.
I believe his is till July 25th.
Yes, you may. Thank you, Miss Helen. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You all have a
And I
good weekend.
apologize for trying to find the.
I'm just glad we finally see each other in person. So you want to do that one for, is it good for the September the 8th, or you want to do October? Okay, let's look and see, be sure. Any update, Mr. Moran? We're getting nervous.
I'm getting a little nervous myself, Your Honor. I have left a voicemail and emailed and texted Mr. Donaldson. I have not heard back from him yet.
I do appreciate your honesty.
Yep, no problem. I wish I could produce my client. But I'm happy to, I don't know how long this hearing is planning on going, or if are you completely done with the calendar at this point?
Yes, I am. And,
Sorry for holding the
well,
court.
I have one for the, oh, that's at the 1:30.
1:30, but
Don't
I'm
think,
not sure. I don't know if we're gonna have the 1:30 there or not.
I will not cry about that.
But, his leave of absence says through July 25th,
Oh,
and then it won't let me give the document.
right, okay, but July 20, we'll reset him then. You want to do the September 8th, sounds like, yeah.
Okay.
So he's on, oh, but wait, he's on promotions, right?
Yes, who is it? Oh, Louis Carell.
Let's see,
Looks like he's been on a couple of motions.
really?
No. January 26th of 2022,
Mm-hmm.
August 3rd of 2023, and then another status on June 2nd, 2023.
Oh, so he had one in June.
Status. So maybe he wants a motion, but no motion has been filed.
Hmm. I almost want to put him on show cause for the
And Judge, I
our
see on
status.
the calendar notes, it said that it was reset on the motions calendar for a final plea or status.
Oh, it does say, okay.
So if the court wants to put it on a show cause, that would be good too, or we could just put it on a final plea or status or something like that.
Well, the final plea is that same day on the 8th. Show cause and final plea is at 1:30. But no motions have been filed, so.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Let's put him on the show cause on the 8th. At 1:30. Mm. Mm-hmm. He's been kind of circling around a little bit.
Your Honor, I do have a slight update on Donaldson. I did just speak with his mother, who is responsive to phone calls, and she's going to try calling him as well. That's the extent of the update I have.
So he got
I
cold
apologize
feet
again.
on a Friday morning.
Yep. I do appreciate the court and the state's patience with this case.
Oh, I can imagine. Mm. Wow, this has been since 2019.
Yep, it's an old one.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is that Mr. Donaldson's mother told me that he was for some reason under the impression that since he had signed the plea paperwork, he didn't need to do anything else. Even though I did explicitly tell him otherwise and forwarded him the Zoom link as soon as I received it this morning. And so I think he'll be on shortly. I hope.
I'll give him 4 more minutes, 9:25. Some judges will say 9:30, but.
I appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Cagle.
Been also trying to get in touch with him and they've not.
And yeah, he wouldn't even return you all's call.
No, Your Honor.
Sometimes they'll call the bonding company before they'll call the attorney.
But he was very aware that he had court, our office spoke with him at about 3.
And you all left a voicemail. Were you able to at least do that too? Yeah. Well, we'll see him soon. If another way,
I hope not. I just texted him, let him know he has 4 minutes.
I should not say that. Give these to. Oh, get those. Yeah. I might have a short day for you, or a long day, and a short day. No wonder Miss Younger, when I came in, you were like, huh, so I don't think you should have said, I'm not Essence. Because you know, if you don't tell me, it sticks and start calling you by the wrong name.
It's okay. I think the other judges do it also.
We do it all the time.
I don't feel.
We don't see you guys enough to know.
Your Honor, his mother said that she's not been able to reach him either.
She did. You just called her too.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Moran,
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Cagle says, the mom says now she can't reach him either. I just can't imagine, you know, I do know that when I have my paperwork, usually I'm, you know, dealing with defendants who are incarcerated. So they're at my pleasure and they're already in front of me. And I wish, if nothing else, he has a phone, he would answer it or text back and say, you know, I didn't think I had to come, but I can go somewhere and get on Zoom. I know a lot of times they don't necessarily have the internet capabilities on their phones.
Something tells me that he may just be asleep and is not getting any of these calls or text messages.
I hope he's not asleep at his mom's house. Probably not.
I don't think they're living together. I'm not sure.
Okay. Because, you know, Miss Cagle is looking at me real hard. These were signed on the 18th. Okay.
I would imagine this is probably not something the court would entertain, but we could theoretically do this as a plea in absentia.
ASG Riser. What are your feelings? I shouldn't say,
Um,
let me be more formal. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good, better wording.
Yes, it's Friday and we're all tired and brain dead by now, but
Yes, I mean, we do have a negotiated plea. This is going to resolve. I don't like that the defendant did not appear. If the court is inclined to do a plea in absentia, the state would have no objection if that's what the court would like to do.
let me ask you this, Ms. Reiser, do you have his history in front of you? I was curious on that.
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I can pull
Okay.
it really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in terms of convictions, Your Honor, he has a 2018 fleeing and eluding charge he pled nolo to. And he also had a guilty plea to obstruction. And that was out of Fayette County in 2018. He also had a 2018 nolo plea to theft by taking out of Gwinnett County. And he is currently on first offender probation in Superior Court of Fulton County for aggravated assault. And that was out of 2022.
2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're ready to mess that up.
Luckily, well, I guess it's lucky. What I will say is that the case that he's on probation for didn't happen until after the case before the court.
Oh, okay.
Because so this is a 2019 case.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting this is a 2019. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting that. I don't do that many orcas, and then when I get here, I keep forgetting. And it's noted on the calendar that he must appear in person.
And Judge, I will take some of the blame on the in-person. It was my belief too, that if we had like a negotiated plea and the paperwork was turned in, it could be a Zoom. So I will take responsibility because I told Mr. Moran that. And so that was my mistake. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate.
Yeah, of course. And I will, moving forward, Your Honor, I will let all counsel know that pleas and stuff will be in person, even if there's a Zoom link.
I mean, generally, unless you hear from the powers that be something different, do you all know of anything different? Have they said? And I say from upstairs or.
In person, as long as, unless you say something different. If you want them to do Zoom, it's up to you.
Mhm.
It's your call.
Is this him? Morning. Your names?
I'm sorry, April Garrett.
Oh, April Garrett. Oh, you're on the calendar. We were looking for a male and we were going to turn him into the person we were looking for. So no, he's just with you.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
He's your escort. We got it. He's like, no, it's not me.
I'm in the right place.
Yes, you are. We just being light today because it's Friday and you have the courtroom to yourself. Your attorney was here, Miss Helen.
Yes, ma'am. I just texted. We had got lost in the facility.
I got you. Yeah, you can wander around here for days. Did she tell you your case was reset to September the 8th?
She did not. She just told me to come into the courtroom.
Oh.
I have other issues as well. I just talked to the lady about getting here where I am. She looked me up and she said I was supposed to be in court yesterday too for reckless something. And she asked me, she said.
Well, that's one of the charges here. Let's see if it's just unless you've had another case.
No, ma'am.
No?
I should be here for a DUI list safe, right?
Right, and it is reckless on there, 2 counts of reckless driving.
Yes, ma'am, I know what that is too.
Okay, gotcha.
She said something about reckless behavior, reckless something.
Oh, reckless conduct, man.
Yeah, reckless conduct or something like that. She said I was supposed to have a court date for yesterday. So I didn't know. She asked me, had I moved recently? I did move in March. So I like I said, I didn't know anything. I just knew I had to be here today.
Well, the good thing is if you're here today, depending, it'll be good.
Your Honor,
This is pretty quickly. Yes, ma'am.
she does have another open case with Judge Mather for reckless conduct. I'm pulling that up in Odyssey. It appeared she had plea and arraignment yesterday in front of Judge Mather at 9:30 a.m.
Uh-oh. You did.
I had no clue, Judge.
Well, let me say this to you. When you move, and I know March seems like a long time away, but it isn't, you should always come down to the court or at least talk to your attorney, but I tell people to come down here to the clerk's office and fill out the change of address form so that those notices will go to you. Hate to tell you, moving is no excuse. But depending, you can talk to them to see if they will remove the FTA because you had court today and that was on your brain first. And that case was after this one, Ms. Riser? Yes.
Yes, let me just double check. Yes, her, the reckless conduct charge incident date was August 7th of 2022.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, the good thing is you're here. You know, sometimes the ink is not dried on the FDA warrant. Sometimes it takes us judges a couple of days to do it. So when you finish here, you can go to the upstairs, to the clerk's office and let them know that you're here and you got it. You didn't remember, got it confused. Didn't get the notice because you've moved. They're gonna let you do a new address form, change of address form for the system. And then you can talk to them about that FTA.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're so welcome. And you tell her where the clerk's office is. I don't want to get her lost.
I was gonna volunteer, Your Honor. I could walk her down without the.
Oh, because you got to go by there too.
Your Honor, it's not a problem.
Okay, Mr. Moran, the question now becomes, is this a plea in abstention? The state doesn't have any objection. Ms. Cagle probably has an objection. But I do want to be slightly fair, as much as I can be, because everything was signed on the 18th. And it seems to be, as Ms. Riser has been very honest, and I appreciate her honesty in saying that she let you know that his appearance was not required. And I can do it as a plea in abstention. I'm just not excited to revoke him if it's not clear, you know, that he was supposed to be here. And when the state doesn't have any objections, I'd like to go ahead and do that as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I did, for the record, I did go over the full waiver of rights with Mr. Donaldson. And he did consent to this plea as negotiated.
Right, and so, Ms. Cagle, I'm going to, since the state doesn't have any objection, I'm going to go ahead and accept this plea in abstention with his attorney present. Now, if neither of them were present, I would not entertain it. I've got a no pros or dismissal on the obstruction, counts 3 and 4, and the fleeting and eluding. So I'm going to call this case again, 19 CR 007521G, Joshua Donaldson. And I'm going to accept a plea in abstention. It looks like I have 2 different offense dates, February 25th of 2019 and March 3rd of 2019. He is pleading guilty with the plea paperwork that I have in hand that is signed by the defendant and his counsel, William Moran, who is on the Zoom link. The plea paperwork was signed July 18th, 2023. He's pleading guilty to 1 count of fleeing and eluding with 12 months to serve, 180 days, credit for time served, 95 days, balance probated with no additional jail time, a $2,500 fine, 100 hours of community service. a cognitive thinking course, defensive driving course, no driving unless permitted by DDS or he has a valid license through DDS. Count 2, is pleading guilty to obstruction, 12 months probation to run consecutive. Count 3, the obstruction charge is going to be no pros. Count 4, fleeing and eluding, no pros. And count 5, reckless driving merges into count 1. Count 6, reckless conduct merges into count 2. And I have the plea and verdict form as well. And the no pros. So I'm going to sign and accept it. And I would deny the motion from Ms. Cagle from the bonding company. And I appreciate you taking your time out to come down, Ms. Cagle. But I apologize. I think because of the confusion, I feel more comfortable accepting the plea and abstention.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. See you next time.
Please
Okay,
offer my
thank you.
apologies to
You
Ms. Cagle
too.
as well. I don't know if she can hear me.
Oh, Ms. Cagle,
Yes, Your Honor.
Attorney Moran, what were you saying? You apologize to her as
Yes,
well?
I apologize for the inconvenience and the holdup today.
That's all right. All is well. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Okay. All right. It's a plea and I've signed everything. So Mr. Moran, unless you have any other business, you're free to go for Friday.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I appreciate your willingness to entertain this as a plea in absentia, and same to you, Ms. Reiser. I really do appreciate it. And I apologize again for the holdup.
All right, thank you.
I'll make sure to give Mr. Donaldson a stern scolding when I talked with him.
Oh, good. Okay,
should I-
yes, yes, tell him the judge gave him a lot of mercy on Friday.
I will. I'll make sure he writes you a very nice thank you note.
All right, thank you. Have a good one. Oh,
You
there
too.
comes Miss Helen. I thought you had gotten away faster.
No, we were outside, Judge. Ms. Garrett was just having a hard time finding the courtroom, but she has found it. She's appeared with her husband, Judge. We're gonna go down to the clerk's office to handle a separate case,
Mhm.
but I just wanted to make sure she got her reset date
Yes,
for September the 8th.
correct, at 1:30.
PM.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Helen. Appreciate it.
Ms. Helen.
Miss Helen, do you need the case number for the other case?
I did.
You have
The
it.
case number's right there.
Okay, she's got it on,
Okay.
she's got it on a sticky note.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. Take care. You're welcome. Thank you. You too. So do we have anything else?
No, Your Honor, I think the only thing we have at 1:30 is the Lavonda Moore case, and that was a plea, or is going to be a plea, and I think that paperwork was submitted via DocuSign.
Okay, let's see what I have. And his attorney, is it Haddad? Haddad still on the case? Haddad?
Yes, Your Honor, he is.
Because would he be another one that doesn't think he has to come in? Possibly.
He is with Public Defender's Office. I think they may be in person. I'm not positive.
You think he thinks he's coming in?
I
Then
do.
we could call the attorney and see the answer to see. And then tell him to hurry and get down here so we won't wait on him at 1:30. He may be happy to get on Zoom and not have to come down. Yeah. Everything has been signed. Now, I thought was I supposed to start using the DocuSign too, or no? If I'm here, no. Mm-hmm. Because I haven't done one yet. They haven't let me do one. I think Judge Williams has.
You possibly can, you want me to forward it to you, to your email to see?
Just so I can. I won't be. I'll get broken. I mean, I've done it on everything else, you know, my practice and stuff, so. Um. So do we see the attorney's number there? Let's see if we can reach him or someone at his office to tell us. I mean, I can wait till 1:30, but don't have to.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Haddad. This is Valencia from the state worker. Do you have your 1:30 today would you? Yes, are you coming in person or do you want, would you like to do it via Zoom? She is coming in person, okay. Okay, did you want them to try to see if they can come earlier? Okay, would you be possibly able to come earlier? We just finished our morning calendar. Okay, thanks. Yes, you can call this number. I'm in the courtroom, so it's, I think it's 36581, the number.
Or do they want to do Zoom? Since I have the paperwork?
Would you like to do Zoom since, we have the paperwork? Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, all right, no problem. He said he's gonna call her.
I'm sure she'll want to get it out of the way. If she can, if she's not at work or can get away, sometimes offer it and they want to get on Zoom, I'll do it just to get them over with.
Yes, next year.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Judge Mency. How are you?
I'm good. I'm exercising judicial economy. Come on down early. You know you never get a call about like that.
No, that's great. So hopefully she'll
Yeah, we'll give her a few minutes.
turn on her computer and
Okay.
I send her the Zoom link, Judge. So
I said, I hope she's not at work and then say, I need to take off for a second.
oh, there she is.
Okay, great. Good morning. Ms. Moore, can you, oh, she's still connecting. Let's see. You can unmute yourself.
Hello,
Good morning, Ms. Moore.
good morning.
I know you don't often get those calls. The court says, come on, we're moving early.
Yes,
Trying to get
ma'am.
out on a Friday, so we didn't want to wait till 1:30. So I'm glad you could move things around and get on early and save a little gas and not have to come down too.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Trying to get somewhere where you can see me is not a glare. Is that better?
Okay. Yes, that's good. All right, and I see ASG riser on. I'm gonna call this case. This is for the 1:30 calendar. And I'm gonna save Fulton County a few pennies and call it early and not have to wait till 1:30. This is 19 CR 008932G. Lavonda Moore. Charged with 1 count of cruelty to 2 counts of cruelty to animals, 2 counts of tethering, nuisance, unsafe conditions, 2 counts. 2 more counts of cruelty to animals, and no Fulton County license tags, 2 counts, all with the offense date of February 28th, 2019. And I have the plea paperwork that was signed by you and your attorney. Is it Haddad?
It is, Judge.
Okay, didn't want to mispronounce it. On July the 20th, which was yesterday, 2023. And I understand that you're entering a plea to 1 count of cruelty to animals, 12 months probation, $500 fine, BARC class. You're agreeing to have no dogs or animals in your possession until the conditions are complete. Count 3, you're pleading guilty to tethering, 12 months probation, to run consecutive to count 1, and non-reporting. You can go non-reporting after your conditions are met, which is that class basically. And is that your understanding as well, counsel?
Yes, Judge. The only thing I neglected is we're requesting treatment under the first offender. I believe Ms. Reiser is not objecting to that. There was no way for me to add that on there, Judge. And I normally, and I've talked to discuss with Ms. Moore, normally I don't recommend that on a misdemeanor charge since you only get a chance to use it once. But under these circumstances, Judge, and I talked to Ms. Moore, it's really important that she keeps a clean record, so to speak, and she wishes this has been an ongoing issue. Ms. Reiser was kind enough to negotiate with me and be patient with me, and Ms. Moore, there was a lot of work that went in it. It is I think, a great resolution to the case. So we're requesting that the court follow the state's recommendation with the treatment under first offender. There's a lot more to it in terms of the facts of the case. My client wishes to resolve it under, an offer plea, but I mean, the big issue, Judge, was explaining to my client that even though technically the dogs were not hers, the fact that they were in her home, she almost becomes liable really when things go south. But there's a lot more in it. But bottom line is, Judge, we're requesting the court to follow the state's recommendation. I would also ask the court potentially to waive some of the supervision fees in light of the fact that she's got to pay a fine of $500 on the class. And she does have 5 children that live with her, Judge. They're all under the age of, I think, 15, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, Judge, that's what I would request. And the final, and I just remembered when I just spoke to Ms. Moore, she needed I think a couple weeks just to make arrangements to get the dog out. The dog, she still has one of the dogs. It's actually technically, the dog is her baby's father's dog who resides with her. Or so she was unable to take care of it before court today. So I know I've talked a lot, Judge. I apologize, but I just want to lay that
Oh,
out.
it's okay. ASG riser, how do we handle putting on that first offender, or do we send these back to DocuSign again?
I would be happy if the court wanted to, just write on the plea paperwork first offender. I
Okay.
would have no objection to that, since we're all here and that we're all on the same page. with that.
Okay, and then I'll just initial and sign. Okay,
Yes.
I can do that. I am writing first offender status. And I'll ask you, do I need to say anything else?
Judge, the only thing, I guess, just for the record, I would ask Ms. Moore, after you swear her in, whether she's ever used first offender before. I don't believe she has, but I think that's got to be placed on the record.
Okay. All right. I will put all of this on the record. I've at least written it in there as well. And so, Ms. Moore, are we ready to take your plea? Anything else, ASG Riser?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
And did I read everything correctly on the plea document?
Yes, Your Honor, you did.
Okay, didn't leave out anything. And State, do you have anything else to note before I swear in Ms. Moore?
No, Your Honor, I think we covered everything. I did talk with Mr. Haddad about the first offender status. State doesn't have any objection. She would qualify. She is eligible. I don't see that she's used first offender prior to this.
Okay,
And obviously, I would stipulate to the facts and venue and identity of this case.
great. All right, Ms. Moore, can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Confirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions in order to accept your guilty plea to make sure that it is free and voluntarily given. And again, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. The first question being, are you presently under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the services and representation of your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up or waiving your right to the presumption of innocence?
Yes, ma'am.
That you're giving up and waiving the right to remain silent and not testify against yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you're giving up and waiving the right to trial by judge or jury, whichever you prefer?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are prepared and agree to waive these rights today, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And has anyone told you that you'll receive a lesser sentence for pleading guilty?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you're currently on probation, your probation may be revoked because of the guilty plea here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you offer this guilty plea freely and voluntarily with the full understanding of the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am. But it's one thing, after I finish the class, so all of that wipes off my record, right?
With the first offender? Right, once everything is completed. And ASG Riser, I don't know, or Mr. Haddad, I don't know the process as far as certifying and all of that. So you could speak to that.
Sure. So just to answer Ms. Moore, once she enters a plea, assuming the court accepts the plea and sentence her under the first offender, then technically from today going forward, she's not considered having a conviction. Now, what it'll officially go through once everything gets taken care of by her. And of course, assuming there's no violation of probation, which or violation of anything, which I don't expect. So officially it kicks, everything goes through in terms of the paperwork once the 24 months are up. But in the meantime, she's not considered having a conviction. So when she applies, or if she applies for a job, she can honestly say, I've not been convicted of anything. But nothing completes until that period of suspended or non-reporting probation ends, Judge.
All right.
And I do think, Your Honor, once she completes everything, and probation, I guess, signs off on that she's completed all the terms and her conditions, I do think the court needs to do in order, like not adjudicating her or relieving her of first offender, basically, saying that she's complied and she's not adjudicated guilty, and her record should be expunged.
Mhm. Okay. And let me ask you this too, Ms. Moore, have you ever pled or used your first offender
No, ma'am.
status?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I will accept your guilty plea to the charges as read, and we'll let you use that first offender status for this plea, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you have no other questions, I'm going to sign this.
I just have one more. So when I finish the class, that probation thing is over with too, or it just still goes on for the 24 months?
I think as your attorney said, it would still go on for the 24 months because they just say that you can go non-reporting after the conditions are met. So you wouldn't technically come off until the end of the 24 months. Did I say that right? Yes.
Yes, Judge. And Ms. Moore, what that basically means is you'll be on, once you pay the fine and complete the class, you'll be on non-reporting. Probation will let you know you'll be on non-reporting, so you don't have to report. And as long as there's no issues, which I don't expect any issues really with the law from you, then the case, it goes away, your record gets expunged. But in the meantime, also, when you apply for work, you're asked if you've been convicted of a crime, you can actually, under the law, say, no, you've not been convicted of anything.
Yes, but my understanding when we spoke was that when I finished the class, that the probation, everything ended.
So the way it works is it ends in the sense that you don't have to report. Hypothetically, let's say a year from now, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but let's say a year from now, you're accused of shoplifting or DUI or something like that, then probation can technically bring you back and try and revoke your probation if they needed to, even though you're not non-reporting and even though you're on first offender. Basically the time is, the quicker you get it done, the classes and the fine, or the class, then the quicker you're done with probation in terms of reporting. So it's really not an issue in your case. I mean, honestly, because you've never had any run-ins with the law, so.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, that my understanding was that everything was gonna, because I don't want anything on my record. 4 years of going through this has already been torture enough because I haven't been able to get the proper jobs that I qualify for. And
Well, some of the applications will ask, have you ever been arrested? And some will ask, have you had any convictions? So, the rest will be there. But the, like you said, you won't have to answer that you've had any convictions and will not have any convictions.
okay, it's fine, Judge. I just didn't want to have probation because I'm not that.
For the
type of person.
24 months.
Yes, ma'am. When I thought that it said that, when I spoke with them, they said that once I finished the class and comply with everything, that even the probation thing would disappear also. But I mean, it's fine.
It doesn't disappear. It just, you won't have to report. And I forgot to say, Ms. Younger, can you add on, I'll waive 6 months of her fees?
So I have to take the animal class for 6 months.
No, she's waiving.
No, I'm just waiving 6 months of your probation fees for that reporting during the
Okay,
time that you have to report.
yes, ma'am.
So that you won't have that fee because you've got that fine as well.
Yes,
So it's
ma'am.
trying to save you a little bit with the fine
Okay,
in the sense of not having both the whole time.
yes, ma'am.
So I'll do that for you, but it'll probably go by faster than you think. It sounds like a lot right now. But as you know, these years go by fast.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I wish you much success in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Moore, I'll be
All
emailing
lines
you.
are clear. Yes, sir.
I am so sorry, Judge. I
Uh-huh.
thought you were, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Ms. Moore, I'll be emailing you the instructions as to where to call probation. Normally you'll have to call in between Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of next week. And
Right.
there'll be the instructions. on how-
ASG Riser, on some of the calendars, I have probation here, others I don't. And do they reach out to them, I think, because we turn in the information to probation, right?
They'll, I believe they'll reach out to them. I'm sending Mr. Haddad the probation form. for him
Oh.
to complete and then send it back so I can send it off. to
Oh,
them.
Ms. Younger is sending you the probation form, and then once you complete that, send that back to her. And she will forward that to probation and they will get in touch with her.
Thank you,
Sort of
Judge.
like an intake sheet or information sheet. And so she's emailing that to you.
Yes, Judge. Thank you. And I think that's it on our behalf, Judge.
If nothing else, we've accepted accepted your first offender status plea. And that will conclude the business of the court. I appreciate you getting on earlier. And we only had one case for 1:30, so we were trying to be a little more efficient and get you in and out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I appreciate you for doing that. And I have the no process. I forgot to give you that back. And if you don't have any questions, all minds are clear. Ms. Moore, wish you much success.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right. Can you see that email, Mr. Haddad?
No, but I'm sure. Hold on.
Okay,
Yes, I received it. I'll fill it out, Judge, and
okay.
I'll email it back.
Send it back to her. Okay, that'll be good. Thank you so much for getting on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Riser, are you in your office? Can I give you a call real quick?
I'm not in my office, but I will put my county
Okay.
cell in the chat.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, does that conclude court, everyone?
Yes, Judge, I did.
All right, happy Friday.